Okay, please welcome past International Director Melissa McGavick to give us a keynote speech. Melissa, the floor is yours.
A life lived in service of others is a rare jewel. I stopped and rewound the video to listen again yesterday as the Reverend Ceremony Bishop of London spoke yesterday in a service of reflection for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. A life lived in service of others is a rare jewel. Madam District Director, leaders, dear friends, the jewel of service is a critical facet in leadership. Although we may not be serving as leaders of a country, all of us can live a life of service. Each of us, in our own capacity, can add our jewel of service and leadership to a cause that impacts the lives of hundreds of thousands of people around the world each year. If you search the term leadership, Google has more than 5,140,000,000 search results for just that term. If we divided it evenly between all of us in this meeting, we would never be able to read all of the books and articles, take the classes, and experience all the speeches dedicated to this one topic. As we consider leaders, some great leaders everyone would recognize. Other leaders are barely known. Some are hard leaders that use the weight of threats to motivate. And while that works when people have few options, those that lead in a way that empowers and enhances the experience of a person or group will find they have more and more opportunities open to them. Today, I'm going to share 5 B's of leadership. The first B is to be the example. Becoming a leader that people want to follow. This morning, we heard from Toastmasters International President Matt Kinsey. He spoke about membership building, and I believe that in all of his tips and techniques and guidance that he gave us, that you could see that his passion for the organization, and more importantly, the members. He demonstrated he's a leader worth following because he leads from his heart. People want to follow leaders that have the best for other team members in their mind. He didn't have to be here today. He volunteered to be here. He chose to give his Saturday morning and all of the time that it took for him to prepare that presentation to be with us, to encourage us, and to be in support and service of us. See, if you know Matt, you know he would have happily been here even if he didn't have that title. Because great leaders don't have to rely on a title. In Toastmasters, we have a lot of titles. I think you'll agree. And as we have learned a whole bunch of new titles over the last few years, titles are a tool to show honor and respect to those who have earned a distinguished Toastmaster or carry a district leadership title. We can use these titles as a tool to educate members of what they can accomplish through our program. For those of us who do have titles, I recommend that we commit to be the best example possible for other leaders and members to emulate. Because leadership isn't a title, it's a way of being. The second B is be curious to try new things. Toastmasters is a safe place to take on the concepts of leadership and put them into practice. When you served as a club officer, you started your journey with a small group of people who typically have your back. They will lovingly provide feedback and give you a little nudge or guidance in areas that you may do well or maybe you need a little tweak. That guidance is typically warmly welcomed Today, my evaluator is Region Advisor Joel Dawson. He is serving right now in a leadership role by providing me guidance as to how I can get better. Right now, you are serving on the District Executive Council, and you are called to do things that you may not have done before. Sometimes you won't get it right. This is where you can try things that might be hard for you. It might be stepping out of your comfort zone of the familiar club setting, building a team, delegating, managing your time. It's in trying new things that we will make mistakes, but it's in making the mistakes that we eventually learn how to do things well. Founder and CEO of Spanx, any ladies in the room who are familiar with that product, Sarah Blakely credits her willingness to try new things to her dad, because as she was growing up, he would ask her, "What did you fail at today?" It's through challenges that we grow our skill set and our resolve to evolve to the next level. Each time we face a challenge, we become more adept. It's in facing adversity that we develop resiliency. In a work situation, a failed project could cost someone their job. In Toastmasters, a failed project typically makes really great speech material. If you listen to enough speeches, I'm sure you've noticed that the most powerful messages come from the messes we get ourselves into. So how will you transform your next mess into a message? The third B is be clear with your vision. If I called you in the middle of the night and woke you up, could you clearly express what your vision is for your area, your division, your area of expertise within the district? And could you do it in a compelling way? There's a proverb that says, without a vision, the people perish. If you're leading in any capacity, I ask you to sit down and contemplate, what is your vision? Creating that clear vision of whatever organization you happen to be leading, be it at home or work, in your community, or right here in your Toastmasters Club and role. Today, you heard Diane and Leslie and Iona each share their vision of the goals they're committing to and aiming for this year. That didn't just happen in a 15-minute session. It took time to create and contemplate. It takes action to create a vision and to be able to communicate it clearly. And there are several ways of creating a vision. Some people draw it out or maybe mind map it. Some write it out longhand, and others use bullet points typed out. However you do it, get it onto a document, out of your head and into something that someone else, another person, can understand. And I recommend, once you've done that, to speak it out loud, to say that often. I know it sounds kind of strange to be reading a document to yourself out loud, but as we hear it, we become more ingrained in what it is that we're going to achieve. When you create a vision for where you're going, create that story, the story of where am I now? Where do I want to be? And how am I going to get there? How are we as a team going to get there? Think about all the possible pitfalls and detours that might happen along the way. How are we going to overcome them, get around them, knock those obstacles down? In doing that, we make it much more likely to succeed. So as a Toastmaster leader, what is your vision? Do you have it clearly articulated? If you want to get good at creating a vision and being able to cast that vision out that people can understand, practice it now in whatever role you're in. And I consider something I'd like you to consider is to serve sometime in the future as a district trio member. In district leader training, when you go, they talk about having the plan and creating the plan, and they insist that you have a plan. In fact, you just talked about yours today here in this meeting. Having a clearly articulated plan typed out with all of those details, the district success, how those goals are achieved, the threats to that success, the goals, and then we submit it to World Headquarters. By doing that, we are making it much more likely to be successful as a district. However, the plan doesn't work unless we work the plan. Often a plan is written and forgotten, but I encourage you to keep the plan where you can refer to it regularly, and even schedule an appointment in your calendar to review it in your plan. It's important that more than the leader knows the plan. Does your team understand it? Do they have the vision? Whenever you get together, can they each share their individual pieces? I recommend that as a team, you regularly review your plan. When I was a district director, I used to do something that some people thought was a little crazy. I printed out that whole plan. It must have been half a tree of paper, but I used to carry it in my purse. And that way, anytime we were having a meeting, I could pull it out and say, where are we? What are we missing? And my team, we reviewed it once a month. We read through our individual piece to make sure, had I missed something? Did they miss something? Is there something else that needed to be tweaked to be able to help us to achieve that plan? The fourth B in our plan today is to be self-aware. Aristotle said that knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Get alone with yourself and contemplate how you performed your tasks, what words you said, what did I forget? How have you invested in the relationship with others? Honest evaluation of what was done well and what could be improved, approached not with condemnation, but with genuine curiosity for improvement. As you take this step, it might be uncomfortable at times, but it's in that uncomfortableness that we grow. We find more effective ways of being and expressing ourselves, lifting each other up, helping each other reach their potential. It's in this process that we refine our leadership style from the ways that we used to become and show up to being more of the person that we want to be. I have found when I've taken regular time to do that reflection, not only do I improve, but it's because of the way I react and respond with others that I become more cohesive as with my team, and the whole team has become more effective. And the fifth of our B's is to be the bridge that spans the gap. A bridge has two ends. One bridge is where you're going. The other is reaching back to where you've been. So let's start with the end of that bridge of where you're going. Socrates mentored Plato. Plato mentored Aristotle. Aristotle mentored Alexander the Great. Leaders are not developed in a vacuum. Mentoring helps you to avoid missteps and be prepared to take advantage of opportunities. My journey has had mentors at every level. I've been shaped by speakers at the World Championships. I've been mentored by district leaders, region advisors, international directors, executive committee members, because I believe you become who you hang around. Motivational speaker Jim Rohn said it, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Toastmasters believes in mentoring so much, they've created a special path just for learning mentorship. So whether you are a brand new member today or a member of the board of directors, every Toastmasters has the opportunity to have a mentor to help them overcome obstacles and be able to reach their full potential. So who would you like to be mentored by? I recommend, if you are serious about leadership, you find a mentor. Now, to complete that bridge is the other end of the bridge. There's an old saying that it's lonely at the top, but I disagree. It's only lonely if you go it alone. By bringing other people with you, you expand your possibilities, and there's more room up there than you think. One person I advise is a corporate executive who is excellent in helping others to be promoted. His insistence on helping them to be able to become better than they were when they joined his team. He meets with each one when they join and helps them create a career strategy plan, exiting his team within 18 months to 2 years. He does this because he helps them to develop their skills. Through this process, not only has he been continually promoted throughout the company because they see how successful his teams have been, people clamor to work with him. Why? Because he genuinely helps others succeed. So as I go ahead and close, I do want to leave you with a couple of words from a mentor that helped me along the way. He said, do the role that you're currently in so well that if you choose to move forward, all opportunities will be open to you. I encourage you, although it feels like we're in September and just beginning, November, when your district leadership committee is starting to convene, is coming and right around the corner. In performing your role now in a way that opens doors for you others, you will be serving others through leading and becoming that rare jewel. I encourage you, enjoy serving, enjoy being. And Madam District Director, it has been an honor to be with you today.
Thank you so much, Melissa McGavick. You touch our hearts, you touch our minds, and you've touched our souls. And I think you've inspired each one of us here to be better leaders and to step forward and do so many things. Thank you for your incredible words of wisdom. Please give Melissa a round of applause, everyone. Thank you. And besides myself, thank you so much, Melissa. Can we have the slides, please? Thank you. Did you enjoy that?